Good morning and welcome to Conversations with Buddy. We record these podcasts at the Rec Podcast Recording Studio here in Kaiser, Oregon. We drop a new podcast every Friday morning with a new story that will impact someone. We hope that someone is you. Please take a moment to like, comment, and also share on your favorite social media platform. We want to get these messages out to the people and impact the world one testimony at a time. I would also say, if you know somebody that would be excited about being on the podcast, they want to share their story, please reach out to me as well. That would be awesome. This morning, I'm excited and grateful to introduce to you my friend, Ross Martinson. Welcome, Ross.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for having me.
Dude, thanks for being here, man.
Pumped to be here.
This is great. Well, here we are. It's Friday morning. It's February.
Yeah, already.
Time is flying. It's just Christmas now. It's February. We're looking at Valentine's Day. Speaking of Valentine's Day, what are you going to do for your wife on Valentine's Day?
It's a great question. We were just talking about, we try to do like...
I'm applying pressure, by the way.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good for me. We try to do like joint gifts sometimes. So this is very unattractive. We call this like a non-sexy gift.
Yeah.
We have done a lot of home renovations in the last couple months. And we were talking about the fact that overalls might be a really nice thing. So,
I love it.
Yeah, we just talked about that last night. I said, let's go buy some overalls, babe.
I think it's hilarious. It's funny. You're adding some humor to your marriage.
Yeah.
Keep it live. Well, hey, I'm just going to do a quick intro of you and just kind of go over who you are, and then we'll dive in deep, hear all the good stuff about you, man.
Love it.
Okay. So, Ross, you're married to Allie. How long have you been married?
5 years in May.
5 years in May.
Yeah.
You definitely married up, my friend.
Absolutely.
You're an only child, and you grew up in the big city of Silverton?
Yeah, in between Silverton and Salem.
Okay, yeah. You love dogs, and you have a dog.
Yeah.
Right? What's your dog's name?
Phineas.
Phineas. That's an interesting name.
Yeah, it is. I've got a story behind it if you want to know.
We're going to come back to that one.
Okay.
We're going to hear about Phineas.
Deal.
You're a Costco enthusiast.
Absolutely.
In fact, we were just talking about you bought a box of cereal, for $13 at Costco?
Ridiculous.
And it's good, but hey, you're a realtor. You're an investor, mostly in real estate, or do you do like cryptocurrencies?
No, I've only done real estate.
Okay. And you love real estate too.
Yeah.
I wrote down world traveler. I don't know if that's true, but I know that this last summer you traveled around your birthday to the East Coast. And
yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, world traveler.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, where have you traveled the farthest though?
On our honeymoon, we went to Thailand.
Whoa.
Yeah. Been to Thailand, Honduras, Guatemala.
Is that just personal? Is that through ministry or what was that?
Honduras and Guatemala were both, mission trips in high school.
Changed your life?
They were awesome, yeah.
Wow, I don't think I knew that about you. So yeah, you are a world traveler.
Yeah.
And lastly, not that there's probably more, but you're a Christ follower.
Yeah.
You believe in Jesus.
Yeah.
Huh, interesting.
Big time.
Okay, wow.
Surprise.
Let's go back and we're gonna talk about your dog and the name and the story, and then we'll dive into who Ross is, where he grew up at, parents, marriage, successes, failures. You know,
I love it.
Basic stuff.
Spill it all.
Yeah. All right, dog. Tell me about your dog.
Yes, Phineas F. Brzee Martinson. That's his full name.
It's got the name. Man.
Allie and I both grew up in the Nazarene church. Her dad's a Nazarene pastor in the Bay Area, California. We are what you would call dyed-in-the-wool Nazarenes. So I went to a Nazarene college in Idaho, Northwest Nazarene University. She went to Point Loma Nazarene University in San Diego.
Yeah.
I grew up here at Salem First Church of the Nazarene. My parents still go there. And obviously her dad's a pastor for the Nazarene church. So one of the founders of the Nazarene church, his name was Phineas F. Brzee.
Wow. There you go.
That's how his name came about. Everybody thinks it's Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not worth explaining that whole story.
It's a different story.
Yeah.
Different story.
Yeah.
Hey, just side note is I grew up in a Nazarene church as well.
That's right. I remember talking about that.
Yeah, for, I don't know, a couple decades maybe, or a decade or so.
Yeah.
My dad still goes to the same church. My mom and dad, but my mom passed away a few years ago. But yeah, my whole family go to Pranville, go to Nazarene Church. The average age is like 82.
Yeah. It seems about right.
I'm almost certain of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's awesome. Well, tell me about, you grew up somewhere between Salem and Silverton. What school did you go to?
Yeah, Pradham Elementary. My mom's actually the secretary, teacher's assistant out there still. So
No kidding.
3 rooms, 3 grades in each room. There was like 80 kids. So kindergarten through 8th grade. So elementary and middle school. It's like the definition of Little House on the Prairie.
Sweet.
Yeah, so it's out by Willamette Valley Pie Company. So it's got a Salem address, but it's Silver Falls School District. So
Interesting.
what I like to call God's country out there.
Love that, man. Yeah, it's pretty out there, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. Where'd you go to high school at? Silverton High School?
Silverton, yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, so my parents are kind of right in between. We're like 12 minutes from downtown Salem and 15 minutes from downtown Silverton. So out in the country. And
you were right in the middle of it.
I loved growing
up there. How many
acres
did you grow up on?
They're on just over an acre.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not like you had 100 acres and 100 cattle? And...
No, they've got a bunch of farm behind them and in front of them, so it felt a little more spacious, but they're just on a square acre out there.
Do you guys have chickens and cows and pigs?
Grew up with chickens, yeah. No, we never ventured to pigs or cows.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
But
maybe
just chickens.
Maybe that's part of your journey in life is you'll get back to the farm and have chickens and cows.
That'd be great.
Pigs
I would love that.
All right. That's cool. That's awesome.
We'll see if my wife's up for it.
Yeah. So where did Allie grow up at?
She grew up outside of San Francisco, so East Bay.
Yeah, she's a city girl.
Yeah.
Salem, that's like a small little hick town.
Yeah. No, seriously. There was a lot of things where she's like, this is weird.
That is
she
weird.
came and visited.
That's weird. All right. Playing sports in high school?
Yeah. I played football pretty much throughout.
Mm-hmm.
And then my sophomore year, I started playing tennis.
Really?
So I played football and tennis primarily, and then was involved in a ton of other things. Choir. I was in 3 different choirs.
So you're a singer.
Come
on, man.
I wish. I wish I still had some of the gusto that I used to.
Yeah.
But
You play any instruments?
Nope. No instruments.
Yeah. Were you ever in church choir?
I don't think so. I mean, other than little kid stuff, Sunday school stuff, yeah.
Okay. All right, well, let's move on to the good stuff. So you graduated from high school. Did you go to college anywhere?
Yep. Northwest Nazarene.
Northwest Nazarene, yep. So then how did you meet Allie? That's the question.
Great question. So we met summer of our sophomore year of high school, going into junior year in Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, that totally makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. Everything lines up. We met at a national Christian youth conference. So it happens every 4 years. And I met her in passing and thought, dang, she's beautiful.
Wow.
She was actually, their group was staying in the same hotel as us. So I figured out how to get her room number, called her, talked to her. I think we talked for like 2 hours on the phone in the hotel that we're staying in.
As sophomores in high school.
Yeah. I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah. You liked her.
Yeah. So our first date was continental breakfast in a hotel lobby.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's a story, man.
Yeah.
It's a great story.
So then we stayed long distance. I, again, had no idea what we were doing. Said, we both like each other. Let's see where this goes. Yeah. If it's meant to be, God's hand will be in it and it'll work.
Yeah.
And then finished out high school. Again, she's from the Bay Area. I'm from here. And she really wanted to go to Point Loma. I really wanted to go to NNU. And we just thought, if it's supposed to work, it's supposed to work. We'll keep trying it. And we did it. And then spring of our senior year, I flew down there and asked her to marry me on the cliffs of San Diego.
Whoa. That's a beautiful area, the cliffs of San Diego.
Yeah.
You did.
Sunset Cliffs.
Yeah. Wow. What's the golf course right there? What is that golf course?
Torrey Pines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Super pretty. Yeah. Yeah. So we finished out college and then she moved back to Oregon. Not back. She moved up to Oregon.
Yeah.
And we were engaged for about a year and then got married in Canby. And 5 weeks later moved to San Diego for 2 years.
Wow.
So I worked at a Christian college down there for a couple of years. She got her master's degree. We were living for free because we were living on campus with a bunch of college students and 15, 20 minutes from the beach. It was a great 2 years.
You ever want to go back to San Diego?
Yeah, we try to go back 2-3 times a year.
I mean, you actually live?
I don't think so.
Okay.
One of the biggest reasons that we wanted to come back was because of community. We got super involved. We now go to Salem Alliance.
Yeah.
Got super involved with a newlyweds small group. loved it and just felt like we had such a good support system. Moved away, and like 3 months in thought, I think we want to be back in Oregon eventually. When we started talking about what it looked like to buy a house, what it looked like to start a family someday, everything kind of lined up for moving back home. So we eventually figured it out and moved home, and we love that we're here. We've got a really good support system and community, and we still love San Diego. It's a great place to visit.
You can go visit there anytime, but
we've got
choose to live there is a different story.
Yeah, exactly. Allie's got 3 sisters that are down there right now, so it's easy to visit because we've got family.
Totally. Gotcha. Interesting. Okay, so you guys get married. You live in Oregon. All right, so let's transition to you're in ministry, and then you somehow got into real estate. Yeah. So tell me about that.
Yeah, I always thought real estate has always been interesting to me. I thought, I could probably be pretty good at that. And then a really good family friend of ours that's known me since I was, a baby, Ray Beatty.
Because you guys all went to the same church, right?
Yeah, shout out to Ray.
Yeah.
What's up, Ray? He called me and said, hey, would you actually seriously consider getting into real estate? Love to mentor somebody. And we talked about it, prayed about it, and that's when we had already been praying about moving back or what that was going to look like. I actually applied for a couple jobs at Corbin. My dream job came available when Ray reached out. And I didn't end up applying for it because I felt so much peace about jumping into real estate with 2 feet, which is kind of scary. I mean, anybody that's self-employed, you go, okay, there's some risk involved here. We're going to sign up for this. Yeah. Allie didn't have a job up here yet. And we, again, just thought, okay, God, if this is meant to be, it's meant to be. We're going to trust you and jump in with both feet. And I'm going into my 3rd full year. Yeah. It's been so stinking good.
You make it look easy, honestly. You really do. Yeah. Sometimes people get into it and it's like, it's not going to work for you. I mean, I can just tell. And some people walk in and they make it look real easy. You're that guy. I'm not sure how. I don't know why.
I might not even be able to answer that. I don't know.
Fire away.
I think if anything is good and if God's hand is in it, it should feel somewhat easy.
Yeah. It's natural.
Because it's not me, it's God.
Yeah.
And it's just him using me as a vessel.
Yeah. As you think about, the commission lifestyle and self-employed marriage, what I want to talk about is what are some of those challenges that you faced, being an only child, getting married, marrying somebody of the opposite sex and, joining lives and then, moving. What are the challenges in that? That's what people really love to hear is, okay, Ross, it seems like things are pretty easy for you, but where do you struggle?
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like I've learned a ton in the last just 4 or 5 years since we got married. Marriage has been great. I love being married. I love Allison. She's fantastic. I married way up. Which is a great thing to do. But there was so many things that I think trickled from feeling like I had everything figured out to then realizing I'm not in control and I don't have everything figured out. In high school, I was involved in like anything and everything I could be. And so like I'm busy 7 days a week kind of thing, whether it was at the church or at school. Felt like I was on top of the world, in control of everything. My senior year, I graduated. We had like a male beauty pageant. So I was Mr. Silverton High School.
It's funny.
And then ended up becoming the future first citizen of Silverton, Oregon in 2013, just from being involved in a bunch of stuff. So just felt like I was riding this roller coaster and on top of it. That transitioned, I think, into college. I got involved in a ton of stuff, junior and senior year. Was student body president at NNU. Loved the heck out of it. Thought I can do anything I want to do.
That's a good attitude, man.
Yeah, I don't think I was giving God the credit though. Oh. I think a lot of that was...
I've never done it before. That's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know what that looks like.
I think I just was constantly rolling to the next thing and going, I can do that. I can accomplish that. I can finish that. And I'm going to be good at it.
I like your confidence, man.
Yeah. However,
There's a however. Okay.
I think probably the last 4 years, I've really tried to take a back seat and go, I am not defined by what I do. I'm defined by who I serve and how I serve. And that's been the biggest learning thing for me is just recognizing I serve a powerful God and he can choose to shut doors when he wants to shut doors. And I try to enter every conversation that I meet with people just reflecting on that and going, I'm not in control here. This is not my time. It's not my money. It's not my resources. It's God's, and he's allowed me the opportunity to serve people and help them. And yeah. So that's been the biggest thing I've learned.
So I see you out a lot, man. You're everywhere, right? Would you say you're an extrovert?
Yeah.
You feel up when you're out with people
Yeah, I enjoy the heck out of people. I love hanging out with good people, and I think that gives me energy. I don't know what shifted, and I'm sure a lot of people feel this too. Right. After COVID, there was a lot of me that just loved hanging out at home with my wife and dog.
Got it.
So I also get a lot of energy there, but I do love hanging out with people, meeting new people.
Yeah, so it's both. I mean, you're kind of you feel it both ways, it sounds like, which is an interesting perspective, but I see you out a lot, so I could imagine that you're probably definitely an extrovert, so that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Let's talk about something funny. You said you're a Costco enthusiast. What's that mean?
I'm a proud executive member of Costco.
You love Costco.
I love Costco. Yeah, it's great. We actually, one of the Costcos when we were in San Diego had a car wash that they had just put in. So I'm waiting for that to come for the new Kubler one, but we'll see. Costco's like my happy place.
You love it.
I love it. I mean, if I will beg Allie to just go to dinner there and get a hot dog. It's the cheapest dinner in town. It's $1.50 for a hot dog and soda.
Maybe that's what early on in our marriage, we were Costco members, and the hot dog and the cheap food when you're living on pennies.
Yeah.
It's funny. Probably a decade ago, I went in there to go shopping with my wife, and I walk out with a stereo. I'm like, how did I spend $400 extra that I wasn't supposed to spend?
Yeah, no, it happens all the time.
And that's why I'm like, I can't do this. And maybe that's why I literally don't shop at Costco.
We've got rules now where if I go shopping at Costco, I can buy anything that's food related without permission.
Ooh.
If it's something...
A stereo?
Yeah. Stereo, TV.
Whatever.
Yard equipment, anything. I got to take a picture of it and at least send it to her, do a lap around the store and wait for a response.
So how many days a week do you go to Costco?
Probably twice a week.
At least twice a week.
Yeah.
And you love the new one? Is it cool?
I didn't at first. I had to figure out my parking spot. I don't know if you've ever been to a store you go to frequently.
Yeah.
Most people park in the same area. Oh. And I took a survey 2 years ago with the old Costco of where people parked. What's really interesting is that anyone in my sphere of influence parked in the same area at Costco, the same section.
Swear.
Yeah, with the exception of one person that I met. But I asked like 50 people.
That's like,
it's super weird. There's got to be some psychological stuff there, but
well, we are creatures of habit for sure. I mean, we like familiarity. That's interesting.
So that was the toughest part, figuring out where my new parking spot was going to be.
Now at work, I literally park in the same spot every day. It's far enough away where I have to walk, a good distance.
Yeah,
and it's always in the same spot. So I get that concept. We like the law of familiarity. I'm not sure what that is. That's really interesting.
I don't know.
But you love Costco, and then you got your parking spot. I don't have a parking spot at Costco.
Yeah, I've got a section. Section.
All right.
But it's been good. I enjoyed the new Costco. There's more gas pumps. It's easier to get in and out of.
Yeah.
It's a little farther from where we live.
Yeah.
But I'll take it.
Cool. Let's talk about investing.
Yeah.
All right. So you're a real estate agent. You've been doing it for starting your third year. You're doing amazing. How did that help you when it came to investing? Because everybody wants to buy property and buy a house and build equity and have the American dream. How would you help people to navigate that? What would they do?
Yeah, I think for me, the biggest thing is if I was going to jump into real estate with both feet and believe in what I'm doing, I had to do it myself. And so that meant us buying a house.
Yeah.
We bought in 2021.
Yeah.
Kind of at what I would call the peak of craziness. So we competed against 36 other people on our house. There was 37 offers.
Seriously?
Yeah, nuts. It's the most I've ever heard of.
I've never heard of that one before.
Yeah, it was crazy. So that was a crazy time. I mean, there's multiple offers, prices were getting jacked up. It was nuts. And I think going through that experience, I learned a ton about just coaching people, walking them through the process, making sure they feel comfortable. It's important for people to feel like they're in the driver's seat and have control over the situation. And so I try to portray that onto clients that I meet with now so that they feel like they're the ones making the decisions and calling the shots. It's humbling, and I don't take it for granted that I'm not a financial advisor by any means, but I'm helping people make the largest financial investment of their life, usually.
Yeah.
And so that's something I don't take lightly. So all that to say, I wanted to buy our house as soon as I could. And then in August, we bought our first rental house. And that's been great. We spent 4.5 months renovating it, way longer than I wanted to, but that's how house projects go.
I love it. And do you do any of the work yourself?
Yeah, most of it. Yeah,
we most of the work
hired out electrical and plumbing. Those are two things I don't like touching.
Yeah, but you love doing the work.
Yeah, my dad and grandpa actually built houses in the Willamette Valley for a while. That was before he got into law enforcement, but yeah.
So that's in your blood.
I think so. Yeah.
What's a vision look like for the next 5 or 10 years, or I don't know, when you retire, when you're 60, what's your real estate portfolio look like if you had to do it the way you really wanted to?
I've got a really cool, probably pretty unique legacy to look back on. My grandparents live in Coos Bay, and my grandpa was a diesel mechanic his whole career. But they own 18 rental houses, and that's something I kind of dream of achieving. Maybe not quite on that level, but I've seen what is done for them financially. They own all of them outright now. They're in their 80s, early 80s, but they've been able to, with those resources, bless a ton of people, whether it's community members or their church or grandkids. So I see what they have been able to do with real estate. Yeah. And I love that. And that makes me excited to hopefully follow in their footsteps and be able to do that for my family or for our community, and just love on people with our resources.
Your grandparents, all their properties are in Coos Bay?
Yeah, Coos Bay, North Bend.
North Bend, yeah. Yeah. I think I told you my wife's from Coos Bay.
Yeah, and you went to college down there, right?
Yeah, I went to SWAC, so yeah. Great place I love it. I love Coos Bay.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. Dude, 18, that's really amazing. Yeah. We wish we could go back to when your grandparents bought homes and bought like 10 homes for like
absolutely.
$50,000 or $100,000.
My grandpa, there's a couple houses he bought for $12,000. Yeah. Where they were like VA foreclosures and stuff, but stuff we don't see a lot of anymore.
Okay, so now that rates are, a little higher, they've gone up since January of a year ago, rates were at 3%. They peaked out in October around 7.5. What does that mean to you when you think of interest rates, and how do you help people understand the value of buying real estate?
Yeah, I mean, this, but
I don't know anything.
The real estate market, it fluctuates a little bit, but if you're playing the long-term game, you're going to come out ahead. So whenever if I'm meeting with first-time home buyers, if I get somebody that says, I think we're going to buy and we might be here for like a year and a half, 2 years maybe. That's when I go, I'm not sure about that. Let's pump the brakes. Let's revisit that a little bit. If I get somebody that comes in and goes, we could live here for 5 years, awesome. You're going to come out ahead. Yeah. And I think it's scary for people to see the higher interest rates. It's scarier for me to see housing prices continue to increase or even plateau, because I think that's going to continue for a while. My fun fact that I like to share with people is the average first-time home buyer is 35 years old, and they're predicting in the next 5 years there are more 35-year-olds coming of age than there ever has been before in history.
Right now, is our a millennial crowd that we're talking about?
Yeah. So people that desire home ownership or are ready for that next step, there's going to be more of those people in the next 5 years than there has been before. And this, in the Willamette Valley, we're probably 5 years behind on new construction. So inventory, I think, is going to remain low while there's a demand that's growing. Therefore, I don't see prices going down. I see there being opportunities for people to get in and get some seller's credit and good deals on things if they're playing the long-term game.
Right. Yeah. I like that. I think one thing I learned a decade or two ago was, buying and flipping homes is great. You can make some money, but it's the real estate you own when you're 60 that matters. And your grandparents, obviously now they're in their 80s, prove that. It's a long game. If you do the long game, it'll change your financial future and leave a different legacy.
Yeah, we crunched numbers. I actually helped my grandparents sell one of their houses this last year.
Yeah.
They bought it for $12,000. It's one of those houses. We sold it for $290,000. It's a dinky little house. But I calculated the rents that they had made over the last 30 years.
Yeah.
I think they made close to $400,000 in rents over the last 4 years, 30 years.
They got all the rents and then they got all the equity.
Yeah, and then another $290,000 out of it at the end.
Double dipping. I love it.
Yeah.
Love that. Fantastic. That's fantastic. Well, what else is in your life? And how old are you right now, Ross?
28.
You're 28. Been married for 5 years. You've learned a lot. What's the next 5 to 10 years look like for you? Maybe you and Allie, I know you guys traveled this last summer to the East Coast. So maybe let's talk about maybe some travel plans. What's that look like for you guys?
Yeah, I had never been to the East Coast. She had been a couple times, but it was fun to see a bunch of historical sites and eat some food. I enjoy, I don't think I've ever missed a meal. So
me neither.
I enjoy good food. I enjoy trying new things. So I think a lot of times, as much as Allie doesn't like to, we compare our families. Her family's really good at going and finding these really cool, unique opportunities and things to go check out. My family's really good at finding these like hole in the wall restaurants wherever we go. And that's mostly my dad, but I get that from him too. And I go, hey, I'd like to go here in the middle of nowhere because I heard of this barbecue place that they have. There's no other reason why I want to go there, but let's get on a flight and let's go check it out because it looks like great food.
Yeah, that's fun, man.
Yeah.
So you guys, when you're on the East Coast, you started, New York and then worked south to Washington, D.C.? Is that what?
Yeah, I started New York. I'm super glad we drove from New York to D.C., so we spent a full day doing that. Yeah. And it's so unique. Growing up on the West Coast, you could spend 8-9 hours driving Oregon and still be in Oregon.
Yeah.
And so driving from New York to DC is like, I think we hit 7 states and drove through a bunch of different spots, had a ton of food to eat, stopped wherever we wanted to. So if anybody's over there, I highly recommend driving as much as you can.
Okay. So fly to New York, hang out, and then drive down to Washington, D.C. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I know our trip my wife and I took in the summer, probably shortly after you guys, because you guys went before your birthday?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we went shortly after you guys went to New Orleans and then spent the next 20 days going through 7 or 8 states in the South. It was, talking about food, man. We're foodies as well.
Yeah.
Find the best restaurant, belly up. It's going to be good.
Yeah. I love it.
Any big trips that you guys have planned this year?
No, we'll be in San Diego a couple times. We've got that penciled out already. Nothing crazy coming up on the horizon. We'd like to do something big for our 5-year anniversary, which is in May or shortly thereafter.
Is there any sneak peek of what you guys are going to do, or are you guys still thinking about it?
We're still thinking about it. We, my best friend and roommate in college got married a week after us, so I think we're going to try to do a couples trip with them.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Fun. Yeah.
Is there you guys have been to Thailand, all these different places, but is there maybe a place you'd like to go?
Oh man. I would love to go to Italy sometime. Ooh. Again, back to food. I'm going, there's just so much good food over there that I think I would enjoy. So that'll probably be a few years out, but that would be fun.
So in 2017, the rule that we had with our daughters is when they graduate, you can pick anywhere in the world you want to go. Anywhere. We'll go. And so Emily, we spent, she couldn't quite figure out where to go because she's indecisive. Sorry, Emily. So we went to New Orleans for 5 days, and then we went to New York City for 7 days for 12 days. Molly's so I think she had 3 things on her list, and one was Italy. I'm like, well, I don't care about these other places. We're going to Italy. So we flew into, we stayed 4 or 5 nights in Paris. It was amazing. And then we went into Italy and we went to, can't even think of the name of the places, but we spent the next probably 8 to 10 days just going through Italy, going from city to city. Talk about good food.
Yeah, I bet.
You got to go. It's definitely a must. So there you go.
That'd be fun. That's on the horizon.
Yeah. Yeah. Unbelievable food. And you travel by train in Europe.
Right.
And so you're on this red Ferrari train going 120 miles an hour in the middle of nowhere. It's really cool.
Yeah.
You got to do it.
I bet it's beautiful too.
It's unbelievable. So, well, brother, we've covered a lot of ground, man. I'm sure we could probably keep talking. I mean, I love real estate. I love investing. What's one lesson you'd like to share just to close out? Something on your mind, something maybe you'd like to share that would just impact somebody. What would that be?
I think something I've been sitting on for the last, 3-4 months is just show up. Show up for people. Show up for those around you, those in your life, your friends, your family. It's really easy for me to just grind and get caught up in how much I'm accomplishing. And so I think I try to reflect as much as I can on just show up, just be available, be willing to serve people regardless of the result. Yeah.
That's a really good, that's a good takeaway, man. Just showing up. Sometimes we show up with an agenda.
Yeah.
But let's just don't show up with an agenda. Let's just show up to serve people.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm going to take that today. I'm going to take that one.
I think there's a lot of power in that. I mean, if you are showing up and letting God truly lead you and be in control, then I think you're allowing him to do his job too.
Yeah. Oftentimes we don't let him do his job. And we think that we're in control. It's an illusion, but we think we're in control. We're simply not.
Yeah.
So, well, brother, thanks for being on the show. Appreciate you listeners out there each week listening to us here as we talk about stories. And I really do pray that it impacts somebody somewhere. And if you'd ever like to be on the podcast again, we'd love to have you. Just reach out to me. You can email me at buddyp7@gmail.com. You can reach out to the rec. We can also get you on the schedule there as well. Have a fantastic week, and Lord bless you. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you very much.